let's go ahead and talk about King of Fighters 14. When the game's first preview unleashed onto the internet, a lot of people were having doubts about the new installment. However, I was pretty much one of them that never minded. But however, I did say that maybe the graphics could need a little adjustments, but it doesn't mean I necessarily hate the graphics. I like the graphics. As a matter of fact, the situation here was kind of familiar with the Maximum Impact games. I'm talking about King of Fighters Maximum Impact and King of Fighters 2006. They were heavily judged on, but however, they were actually underrated gems. And also, another thing you gotta note is that the Maximum Impact series were let's just say, experiments that are pretty much involving bringing King of Fighters from 2D to 3D. And when King of Fighters 14 finally released, everybody enjoyed King of Fighters 14. Everybody was happy with King of Fighters 14. Even I was happy with King of Fighters 14. And of course, there was significant improvements throughout the development cycle. And of course, yes, the graphics still need some improving. But however, the graphics are a little bit underrated, but still, King of Fighters 14 graphics were good. However, despite the graphics, the game still ended up being enjoyable. If you haven't played King of Fighters 14, go ahead and play that. It's worth a shot. So, why am I talking about King of Fighters 14? Well, the guys over at Siliconera caught on to something that SNK officially released onto Twitter, and that was a screenshot of a future update for King of Fighters 14, which you can demo at the PlayStation Experience of 2016. However, in this screenshot, you get to see that the patch is giving the graphics a facelift, basically. Because in that screenshot, which I have up right now, that's right, so what we got here is improvements on the lighting, shaders, and of course more detail on the hairs. Actually, I'm seeing a lot more details on the clothing too. They're adding a lot more detail. They're adding a lot of improvements to the lighting. They're adding improvements to the shaders. It's looking pretty much a lot more glamorous than the current version of KOF 14. When it comes to me doing news-related things, I put the source in the description. And yes, it is where you will find the screenshot. I put myself under a daily upload schedule, and because of this daily upload schedule, I am of course expected to make a little slip. And trust me, there's dozens and dozens of slips that I have made. And of course, I may not notice until now. Let's talk about, for example, my intro segments and how I seem to skip 2 numbers. That's right, the 2 numbers being 4 and 5. I got my ass roasted for that. Back to the topic at hand. Yes, you can find the screenshot in the source link. Anyway, so what do I think of it? It's a huge improvement. It is a huge improvement, and I know some of you are going to say, hey, this should have been around when it released. I do see your point, and I do agree with you on this one. As a matter of fact, what basically went on is that SNK was pretty much working very carefully to make sure that the gameplay would be fast and fluid and would run at 60 frames a second. And they're playing it safe in case they don't do anything that causes drops in frame rates. And that could be pretty much what was going on through SNK's mind when it comes to the development process of KOF 14. They want to make sure this game runs at 60 FPS, so they had to really play things safe. And keep in mind that this is a console release, and there hasn't been a PC version planned at the moment. And I know there's going to be certain people that are going to reinforce it. I understand that PC is the master race. As a matter of fact, the reason why I made these PSAs saying that PC is the master race is because I know for a fact that PC is the master race. I have been proven why people enjoy gaming on PC. Let's go to the topic again. Basically, what they're doing at the same time here is making sure that the game maintains 60 frames a second. So that could be basically why the graphics were the way they were when it released. Anyway, that is all, and I'll be looking forward to you in the next video.